Hello! If you are a real estate investor who is tired of weak returns, capital calls, or tenants calling at all hours, mobile home parks might be the best investment strategy you've never looked into. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how mobile home parks are helping investors just like you get high returns with low risk, all without the headaches of traditional real estate. So this is a real estate strategy that works in both good economies and bad economies. And the best part is, by partnering with us on a mobile home park, you can stay in real estate, keep all the benefits of investing in real estate, and take back your time, even if you're still working or already burned out from other do-it-yourself real estate investments. So if you're a real estate investor who's sick of spending all your time dealing with tenants, or if you've been burned by apartment deals with risky loans and capital calls, click the button to book a 20-minute call with me where I'll explain how you can partner with us on recession-resistant mobile home park deals without needing to do any of the work to manage them. So prior to investing in mobile home parks, I was a structural engineer for 18 years. I bought my first mobile home park in 2016. That deal gave me a 9x equity multiple in 5 years, and I've been hooked ever since. As I started working with investors, I realized how many people love real estate but just don't have the time to grow their portfolio or have been burned by apartment deals with rising interest rates and capital calls. So that's why I started Freedom Investing Group, to help people like you get great returns without all the stress. So these aren't just projections either. I actually delivered results. On my very first mobile home park, like I said, I earned a 9x equity multiple, which was a 62% IRR. I've had other deals with IRRs over 60%, one over 120%. And on our first two deals where we had outside investors, which we purchased in 2021 and 2022, we just executed a cash out refinance this year that returned a large portion of capital to investors. According to the appraisals, those deals hit a 42% and 43% IRR so far. I've talked to investors who've lost all their money in apartments over the same time frame due to floating rate debt and dropping rents. Meanwhile, we used fixed rate debt, we executed our plan, and we protected our investors. We made them a fantastic amount of wealth, and I'm very proud of that. So book a call with the button right there if you want to learn how you can partner with us on similar deals. So now I'm going to walk you through exactly how mobile home parks work, how we generate great returns, and why they're one of the most stable and powerful real estate investments available right now, especially in an uncertain economy. So let's start with the big picture. Right now, we are in an affordable housing crisis in this country. Working families can't afford a place to live. But mobile home parks are the most affordable form of housing that exists. Not only that, unlike apartments, they don't require subsidies to work like Section 8 or LIHTC. So there's huge demand and almost no new supply because cities don't allow new mobile home parks to be built. So that means you've got rising demand and limited supply, which is a perfect setup for strong, stable returns. At the same time, most mobile home parks were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And many are still owned by the original families, and they haven't done a great job of managing them. Even in strong markets, they might have vacant lots just sitting there. It's not because there's no demand. Like I said, we're in an affordable housing crisis. It's because the owners just didn't bother to fill them. See, it takes work and capital to fill up empty lots. And for an owner who has long since paid off the mortgage, the cash flow is already really good, effort to maximize their investment just isn't worth it. So that's the opportunity. By fixing deferred maintenance and filling vacant lots, we can create affordable housing that families need and increase the income of the property dramatically. So since commercial property values are based on income, and mobile home parks are a type of commercial property, that means that every new tenant adds more value. In fact, in a typical mobile home park where we buy, every filled lot adds about $90,000 of equity. Fill 11 lots, that's about $1 million in equity. And because mobile home park tenants usually own their homes, our expenses stay low, even as we bring occupancy up to 100%. So compare that to apartments where every new tenant means higher expenses, more maintenance, and more staff. So how do we actually execute this plan? We follow a 3-step strategy. We make it nice, we fill it up, and we charge a fair price. So first, we make it nice. We fix the roads, we trim the trees, we add signage, fencing, lighting, we improve anything that's been neglected. That makes the park feel safer and more appealing. Second, we fill it up. We rehab abandoned homes, and we bring in new or used homes onto empty lots. We manage the moving, the setup, the rehab, the sale. It's complicated, but that's why you want someone experienced doing it. But it's powerful. We can sell homes at an affordable price and generate huge gains in wealth through the increased number of people paying lot rent. Third, we charge a fair price. New residents pay market rent, while existing residents might oftentimes be below market rent. So we don't shoot the existing residents up to where the rents kind of should be overnight or in the first year, because that would be just too drastic. But we do bring them up gradually, typically over maybe 5 years or so, we'll get them caught up. And at the same time, we offer them a much improved community. So because of this, we can often double the income, and that means great returns for our investors. So let me show you what this looks like in real life. Our first deal that we had outside investors in was a mobile home park called Santa Rita Heights, just outside of Tucson, Arizona. When we bought it, the community had several empty lots. The manager had quit. The weeds were overrun. The weeds were up to our knees, actually. So we immediately started making it nice. We actually went door to door and asked every single resident, if you could fix one thing about this community, what would it be? The overwhelming answer was the trash service. The dumpsters were overflowing. They weren't picked up enough. So people had to race their neighbors there to get rid of their trash, and some people just left it on their porches. So that's not okay. So we fixed it. We ordered an extra dumpster. We increased the pickup schedule. We also, while we were at it, added solar lighting, fencing, new signage, landscaping. We even built a new mailbox station. So the park looked like a totally new place that they could be proud of to live in. And they noticed. We've got a ton of great feedback from our residents about this one. I'm very, very proud of that. Financially, we grew that park's net operating income from $100,000 when we bought it to $217,000 in just 3.5 years. We got occupancy up to 100%. We filled the empty lots, sold and renovated homes, and executed a cash out refinance and returned most of our investors' capital. What's cool about the cash out refinance, by the way, is that it's tax-free and you still own the deal after you get the money out. The cash flow keeps going, so that's pretty cool. So according to the appraisal, the deal has already generated a 42% IRR for our investors, more than double the 20% that we originally projected. Now, we didn't sell because we still have room to grow it, and our investors will keep getting great returns for years to come. And remember, that was 2021. That's the same year that so many apartment deals were bought with floating rate debt that went sideways. A lot of apartment investors lost all their capital. We used fixed rate debt, executed our plan, protected our investors, and made them a fantastic amount of wealth, and I'm very proud of that. But even more than the numbers, I am proud of the families that we've helped, who now have a clean, safe, affordable place to call home. Now, if you're wondering how I got into this, the truth is, I was where you might be right now. About 10 years ago, I was a structural engineer working 60 to 80-hour weeks. My first son was 1 year old, and I felt like I was missing seeing him grow up. There was one week in particular when I did not see him awake. I left before he was up and came home after he was asleep every single day that week. That Sunday evening, I left the office and said, forget this, I'm gonna go home and put my kid to bed. But when I got home and took him from my wife, he cried, he screamed, he clawed, he tried to get back to mom. He looked at me like I was a stranger, because I kind of was. And that broke my heart. That was the moment I knew something had to change. So not long after that, someone gave me a copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and my mind just about exploded. I was 34 years old and learning about assets that pay you for the very first time. And I knew I had to get into real estate. At first, my wife and I looked for a duplex, but I quickly got discouraged because even back then, the cash flow just wasn't very exciting. And then I stumbled onto a mobile home park for sale on Craigslist of all places. I ran the numbers, they looked a lot better. So we bought our first mobile home park in 2016 and never looked back. That first park created enough passive income that my wife could step away from her job after just 2 years. And by year 5, buying a few more parks while we were at it, I was financially independent and no longer needed my engineering career. That gave us more time together as a family and let me throw myself fully into this fun real estate adventure. In 2021, I had friends and family asking if they could invest with me. That's when I partnered with my brother-in-law Thomas and launched Freedom Investing Group so we could help other families create the same financial freedom that has been so wonderful for us. And so far, over 100 families have invested alongside us. So if what I've shared resonates, if you're a real estate investor who's tired of dealing with tenants, frustrated by poor returns, or feeling burned out after a bad apartment deal, then let's just talk. Just click the button to book a 20-minute call. I'll show you how we're helping investors grow cash flow and wealth through mobile home parks without all the drama and risk that's plagued other asset classes for the last few years. And if you're watching this and you feel that nudge, that small voice saying something's got to change, listen to it. I'm really glad I did. Maybe you're still working full-time and real estate is just another stressor on your plate, or maybe you've put your hard-earned capital into a deal that didn't perform and you're hesitant to trust again. I've talked to so many people in that exact spot, and I built Freedom Investing Group to be the kind of partner I wish I had when I started. Someone who puts investors first and keeps it simple. This call is not a sales pitch. It's a chance to get to know each other, walk through how we work, and see if this is right for you. If it is, awesome. If not, that's totally okay too. As a former engineer, I genuinely love problem solving, and that includes helping people think through financial challenges. So even if that answer isn't me, that's fine. Just getting to have that conversation is something I truly enjoy, and I hope it's valuable for you too. So just click the button, find a time that works, and I'll talk to you soon.